So the first thing that I'm going to do, I've basically got everything ready, but the first thing that I'm going to do, I have half a cup of raisins here. I'm going to add just, you know, a teaspoon and a bit, a good teaspoon, and maybe a bit. And allow this to, you know, just give it a little bit of a stir so it can start to rehydrate the raisins while you get started on everything else. So I'm gonna just set this aside, and this is gonna go actually pretty quick. I've got 3 cups of all-purpose flour, and I do have my leavening agents, and y'all know all of the ingredients and amounts are going to be in the description box below. And just give this a goodly stir. I'm gonna set this aside and set this aside. And I've got a little bit of flour. I'm just gonna flour my surface and grab my buttermilk and my frozen butter. Now what I do, and of course you do you, but I have a stick of butter, not room temperature butter, it was butter right out of the fridge that I grated and then set in the freezer, probably about 20, 30 minutes, something like that. But I've got a cup and a quarter of buttermilk, and we are gonna just give this a bit of a stir. Just a little bit of a stir. And you can see some of the cinnamon start to turn this a little bit. I remember very well when these biscuits came out at the fast food place. Oh my goodness, Kyle must have been 7 or 8 years old, so that's been a long time ago. A very long time ago. But they were really good then. I don't know if they still, you know, make these at fast food, but I don't know. I kind of like to make my own. I'm going to add my butter. And I know a lot of people will use their hands in this, but I don't want to put any heat in this mixture. But I'm going to pause this and continue to work this in. You can work this in with a pastry cutter, with 2 forks, your hands, whatever works for you. And I worked it as best that I could. I'm going to go ahead and add my raisins and any of the extracts that were still in the bowl. I'm gonna just get my hands in this and get this folded in. So I have my rolling pin out. I have a combination of a couple of tablespoons of granulated sugar and a teaspoon of cinnamon. I'm gonna just flour this a little bit more. This is a wet dough. And I hear the deer are here. We had snow last night, and what you hear is the driveway alarm. So I'm going to just get this and roll this out to about a ½ inch. You can still see the butter. And y'all know I'm just going to make a mess in the kitchen, and that's, you know, it's all kind of part of it. And there they go. I think they're probably looking for something to eat. But yeah, you can still see the butter is still solid, and that's what I'm looking for. I'm going to take just a pinch or maybe a spoonful and just sprinkle this right on here. Fold this in half. Give it another another roll. To about 1/2 inch. More cinnamon sugar. Fold this again. And, you know, you only need to fold and roll probably 3 or 4 times, but I'm going to do this as much as I can. I hope I don't get in trouble for that noise. Fold. And I'm going to just keep going. And I can still see, I think y'all can see, I can still see some butter in there. And and that's wonderful. I'm trying to work as quickly as I can. I do not want this butter to start to melt in there. A little bit more. Tried to get away from me. Let's do a little bit more rolling. Y'all excuse me. And so I'm back. I had to turn that driveway alarm off. I have one on both driveways. And a little more rolling. And I think maybe one more roll. I honestly didn't count. Well, maybe 2 more. I honestly did not count. So, you know how that is. Y'all know how that is. Just kind of go with it and, you know. And the next time to finish this will be my final roll out before I cut these biscuits. Or if you don't have a rolling pin, you could just pat it out. If you want to roll it out to 1/2 inch, if you like thinner biscuits, that's okay. I like thicker biscuits because I want to know that I want to get a little bit of everything in there. And I like just, you know, I like these with some compounded butter or just butter, but I really like these, as unusual as it sounds, with some scrambled eggs with cheese and some grits and, you know, either bacon or sausage. At this point, it's all good. But we're going to go ahead and get this rolled out to what I think that I'm going to want for my biscuits. And I'm, you know, with the amount of baking powder that we put in here, they should have a good rise to them. I think it's like 5 teaspoons of baking powder and 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. One more goodly roll. I don't know how thick this is, but this looks pretty good to me. So I have my pan here. I'm going to preheat my oven to 450 degrees. Now I did find this, actually I think it's a vintage biscuit cutter, but I'm not going to use that. I've got this one and these. I'm not really quite sure the size. I think I'm going to go with the smaller one. The one thing that you don't want to do when you're cutting these, now if you just want to cut them with a knife, then that's totally fine too. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these out. You don't want to cut out and wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. You just want to press down and up. And that's all you want to do, because the more you wiggle, the more you press down and wiggle, 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 then the sides won't rise. It'll seal these sides all up. So I'm going to just cut these, and get these ready to bake. So I rolled out approximately 11 biscuits. I like to kind of nestle them together before they bake. You can probably hear my oven preheating. I've got a little bit of buttermilk in a bowl right here. I'm gonna just brush these lightly. And I made some extra cinnamon sugar here. Just give it a good, good loving brush. You're gonna be so good. It's gonna be delicious. A sprinkle. These are gonna be delicious, y'all. Snow's on the ground. Put a little extra in the oven to bake is not a bad thing. As soon as my oven comes up to temperature, I'm gonna place these in and bake for approximately 15 minutes until they're like a very light golden brown. So I've got a cup and a half of confectioner sugar here, and if you want to sift it ahead of time, that's awesome. I'm just kind of swirling through it. I'm gonna add about, I'm gonna start at a couple of tablespoons because I really don't want to add yet more confectioner sugar to this. And this is just, kind of trying to replicate, or copycat, I should say, what some of the fast food places do. I'd be interested to know some of their ingredients of their biscuits and things. About a half a teaspoon of vanilla and a half a teaspoon of cinnamon. Just give this a goodly stir. And what you want to do, and I'm sure that y'all already know how to do this, but what you want to do is to stir this until it's the consistency of where you could, drizzle it over a biscuit. So that's like maybe 2.5 tablespoons of whole milk. Let's see what this looks like. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. So I'm still waiting on my oven, 450, 15 minutes. So these are right out of the oven, and as you can see, they are brown, very hot. Wow, very hot. Very good bake on these. I did let these go probably 20 minutes max at 450. That's a hot oven, but let's see what this looks like on the inside. Wow, y'all. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. These are going to be just really awesome. I mean, in a big way. But I'm going to just a little bit. Oh, or maybe a little bit more. Oh, y'all. I hope that y'all give these a try. They're really easy. And although I haven't tasted them, I know these are going to be delicious. I want to thank y'all for joining me. If you have just happened upon my channel, I hope you subscribe, give me a thumbs up, drop me a comment, and ring the notification bell for when I do upload. I'm just enjoying this so much, and I hope y'all are too. Thank you for joining me here, home at the Hollow. Goodbye, y'all.